Hey everybody, this is D. Lisa West, Dream Doula. I decided recently, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Oh, I love that. This is Christina Spataro. I'm a psychotherapist and relationship coach. And yes, I agree with that. I may not be a dream doula, but I say if you can dream it, you can be it.
Yeah, the concept is if you have an idea of something you want to be, do, create, the universe didn't give you that idea just for fun.
Mhm.
It's something you can actually do.
Yes, I agree.
And
I
a lot
agree.
of people are like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. I have to fit in, which is
Mm,
the topic of our conversation today. I was thinking when I was 4 years old, it was a hot summer day,
mhm.
and I'm wearing shorts and flip-flops, nothing else. And I say to my mom, I'm going to go play with Dean. My cousin Dean was 7, and he and his friend were playing on the front porch across the driveway. So she's like, okay, bye. I ran across the driveway. Hi, I'm here to play with you guys. And Dean looked at me and said, you can't play with us. I said, what? And he said, you need to put a shirt on. I said, you're not wearing a shirt. Jimmy's not wearing a shirt. He said, you're a girl. You have to wear a shirt. Go put a shirt on or you can't play with us. So I went home and I put a shirt on. And my mom said, what are you doing? She was really upset. I was like, whatever. I have to wear a shirt or Dean won't play with me. It's like, you're a little girl. You don't need to wear a shirt. But now, considering that story, how have I conformed to what other people thought I needed to do or be or wear over
Mhm.
all those years? Because really, did I have to put a shirt on? And did I have to do all those things I've done up until now? Wow, maybe not. But it's so easy to try to fit in to our group and try to do what other people want us to do, even if it
Absolutely.
feels kind of bad. How do you
Yeah.
help people with that, Christina?
Well, I'm going to be a little self-disclosing here. How I help people do that is I myself have always felt like a bit of an outsider. I was never the girl that loved makeup or wanted to wear high heels. I have balance issues. I wear high heels. I'm going to top. It won't be. I'm gonna take her being down with me. So, and whenever I would wear makeup, it was like no matter how hyperallergenic that stupid thing claimed to be, my face would feel itchy. I didn't like it. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like me. And for so long, I kept thinking, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel different? Why can't I be like other people? And it was like that for so many other things too. And then also I was born with a mild disability because I was a preemie. So thankfully it didn't affect me cognitively, but it did create some issues with walking and balance, the aforementioned heels. And because of that, again, always that different, different, different. And then I got to the point and I said, wait a minute, maybe I'm supposed to be that. And I had a friend actually say to me once that, maybe if things that I hadn't experienced, I wouldn't be who I am today. And that is so true because
Mm.
who we are is who we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be, you're not supposed to be like your cousin or the neighbor down the road or the person you read about in the magazine. You're supposed to be like you. You can get inspiration from other people, but you're not supposed to be their carbon copy. So,
Yeah, that's so easy for us to say as adults who've done a lot
yes,
of self-reflection. If you're a,
yes,
if you're a kid, you probably have to follow some rules or you get in trouble,
oh
right? Or
yeah,
not fit in
oh
with your
yeah,
group. If you're a teenager, that's probably the hardest time. How do
yes,
you be yourself, uniquely yourself, and also fit in with your tribe? And
yes.
then I thought, through the years, I've worked on fishing boats, and when I worked on fishing boats, I was macho. I wore the clothes that the guys wore. I smoked the cigarettes. I cursed a lot. I had a swagger to my walk. And then when I was selling real estate, I wore, dry clean only clothes. I drove a car that was always clean and had 4 doors in case I was going to take someone for a ride and fit into that crowd. And now I can pretty much wear whatever I want to, act however I want to.
Mhm.
And how is that? Do I still need to fit in? And I understand, you probably studied this, that the reptilian brain is trying to keep us safe.
Mhm.
And so if we don't fit in with the tribe and we're a Neanderthal, we die.
Yeah.
So there's a part of our brain that thinks if we don't fit in, we're going to die.
Yeah. And that is definitely the case with when teenagers trying to fit in with the group. It's very much that feeling of life or death. Oh my God, if I'm not part of that group or I'm not with that crowd, I'm gonna die. And sometimes when I'm talking to clients who have tremendous anxiety, I will call that out and I'll say, okay, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You're not actually gonna die.
Do people think they're going to die? Do they actually say, yeah, I'm going to die? No.
No, I mean, they recognize the thing they're worried about is not that drastic, which is why when I call that out, they're like, yeah, you're right. I won't die, but this will be really embarrassing. And I'm like, okay, you'll be embarrassed. Or it'll be hard. It'll be painful, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, you can't escape discomfort. And yes, I recognize how hard it is to feel like you're not part of the group or to want to fit in, even as adults. It is. Look how many adults we hear about that do incredibly stupid things. Some of them fit in currently in our government because they want to fit in.
Right. Right.
And the problem, they want to fit in. They want to be accepted. Some of them want to do it for money and power, which is a whole other mess. But for a lot of people, they want to follow the crowd. Well, I have to say this, or I won't be part of this party, or I have to do this so that I am now accepted.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
that filters into how people do their, like, let's say you're self-employed
Mhm.
and you're running your own business and you think you have to do something a certain way because other people have done it that way.
Yeah,
And that's the way that you need to do it to be successful.
yeah,
And
yeah.
100% of the time, that's not true.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a million ways to do business with a million different people, and they
Yes,
can all do it their own way and be
absolutely.
successful. I mean, you have to do certain things like talk to potential clients and figure out how to do your job well. But other
Of
than
course.
that, you don't have to send mail in the snail mail. You don't have to have an email list. You don't have to have a Facebook or an Instagram. All you need to do is do what you do and have people who can find you.
Exactly. And I'm so glad you said that because there's more than one way to do something. Like we were saying before, yes, children have to follow rules to be safe and so that we have a civilized society. But as we grow older, as long as we are not hurting anybody, as long as we are operating in good faith and doing things from a honest, moral standpoint. Now, I know that in itself could be a hot button for some people. What I mean is, it's like the old thing. Would you want someone to lie or cheat you? No. So don't do that to someone else.
Yeah, right on. Right on. The golden rule.
The golden rule. If you don't want someone to lie, cheat, and steal from you, then don't do that to somebody else. That's the lesson of morality, folks. Don't do to somebody else what you wouldn't want done to you.
Yeah, that's perfect. So what do you find? I'll just have you reveal something about yourself. What do you find yourself still conforming to that you'd like to let go of still? For
Still
my,
confirming that I would like to let go of. Ah, that is a toughie because I tried so hard to when I was younger, I tried so hard. Oh my goodness, I want to fit in and it didn't work. And then once I hit over 30, I was like, to heck with it.
Gracie, do you feel pretty clean? Like you don't think you're still trying to fit in some way that you'd rather not?
Honestly, no, because especially because I'm doing work I really love
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing it in a manner that I really love. And since I went virtual, and I don't have to deal with the commuting and the other stuff as much. Yeah, I do feel pretty clean about it. Am I perfect? Oh dear God. But my imperfections are less a matter of, undesired conformity than just, I procrastinate like everybody else. I'm probably messier than I want to be. But in terms of, am I being more authentic than I have in probably most of my life? Yeah, in terms of, is this who I am? Yeah. Am I trying to live up to somebody else's ideal? I think I definitely was trying harder when I was younger and definitely falling short of that, but realizing it's because that wasn't me.
Right. Yeah. For me, I still find myself doing certain things for my business that I feel like I have to do. Like, do I have to have a Facebook account?
Hmm?
I kind of don't like Facebook anymore. Do I have to have an Instagram and a Facebook and a LinkedIn and a YouTube? Maybe not. And then I do consider when I'm getting dressed to go out to an event,
Mm,
is this the right thing to wear?
hmm
I don't really look in my closet and go, what would make my soul so happy to wear? I'm kind of like, well, I don't know, is that too crazy? Or is this, is it gonna rain? I don't know. Sometimes what I still feel like I'm stuck in the box when I'm
Mm,
figuring out what to wear. But other than that, yeah. I mean, if somebody told me I had to wear a certain uniform, I mean, no, I don't.
yeah, do
No, I
not have
don't.
do not have to. I mean, to be fair, I think obviously we do live in a very visual society. So yes, we do look at what we wear and we do have house, and as women too, I think we are judged even more on our appearance. I think men get that too, but I feel like almost it's extra,
Oh
you
God,
know,
yeah.
like when they do the red carpet. They're not, I mean, looking at the guy's suits and saying, no, could you believe he wore that tie? Sometimes they, but they're going on about the woman's dress. Now, to be fair, they're also getting it by the designer. So we're constantly feeding into this.
That is so
You know?
perfect. I was just thinking the other day, I was telling a friend, when I worked as a real estate broker, at one time I worked in this office that had, I don't know, 90 different agents, but
Mhm.
probably 30 of them went in and out of the office all the time. And I wore this really cool dress to go out with an ex-boyfriend that week. And I
Mhm.
thought, so hot. I had high heels on, and this dress was like, it had lace and it had tucks and it had buttons and it was floral. It was like a crazy dress. And then I thought a couple days later, that dress was cool. I'm going to wear it again. And one of the guys in the office said, hey, Delisa, didn't you wear that dress yesterday? And I found myself saying, no, Michael, I wore it 2 days ago. And then I thought, what? What the what? You wear the same suit every day, as far as I can tell. And maybe you change your shirt, maybe you don't. Like, what is going on? And then I thought, okay, wow, that was weird. And why can't I wear the same dress every day? And I think people have done studies on that. They've
Yeah.
worn the same outfit day after day after day after day after day to their jobs to see if anyone noticed, and no one did. But it wasn't a big floral dress with lace and buttons
Yeah.
and,
Of course. Yeah.
it was
Of course.
just so. Also, I think women dress for other women.
Yes.
Men
Yes.
don't notice, except Michael. Men don't notice, men don't care. Uh, Usually they don't. But if I'm walking down the street and someone says, oh my gosh, I love that jacket, or where'd you get those pants? It's another woman. It's not a
Yeah.
guy.
Yes, it is true. Um, they're definitely, again, it's this thing where, because I think we're conditioned to care so much because it's that idea, like the male peacock is all beautiful and colored and because he has to impress the female. But there is this underlying undercurrent that women have to impress, and we
Mhm.
have to impress physically. There's
Yeah,
this
and
thing.
you're not impressing someone by looking way different than any other woman.
Mhm.
You're kind of impressing them by fitting in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how the fashion designers get us.
Mhm. That's how they. Now I admit I'm a rebel there. I admit it. I'm a rebel. Partially because I need things that are comfortable for me, and so if the material is not comfortable or it's not easy to clean or whatever, I'm just like, I don't care. Who did
Yeah.
it?
Well, and I think that there's a move in at least in society, as I'm noticing it, there's a move toward that, where you're saying, is it comfortable? Is it sustainable? Can I wash it at home? Where, I went from when I was a realtor in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, almost all of my work clothes were dry clean only.
Mm,
And so I couldn't wash my clothes myself. Every week I'd be taking stuff to the dry cleaners and taking it back. And now I think almost everything people buy is not dry
yeah,
clean only. It's you can wash it and hang it up. You can take it to the dry cleaners if you want to, but why?
why?
And it's important to know that it's sustainable. You're not just ruining some river somewhere with too much indigo dye. And it needs to be comfortable.
Exactly.
So we're moving from that, but also you still are trying to fit in, even if you're in your comfort clothing.
So here's the thing. Don't just be comfortable in your clothes. Be comfortable in your soul,
Yes.
because conforming leads you to feeling uncomfortable, feeling like this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like me, but I'm doing it because I feel I have to. But when you find a way to fit in society so that you are still a part of society, but you're still true to you, then you have comfort in your soul.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Do you agree that these concepts are sort of opposing? You're conforming or you're collaborating. So we can collaborate with life
Mhm,
and live our highest soul's purpose, or
mhm.
we can let forces in life force us to conform.
Yes,
Otherwise, it's a dance. It's a dance we're doing, and we're
ab-
just making life fun.
absolutely. I mean, look, let's look at every sci-fi movie that has ever been made. Every sci-fi movie, every dystopian future. What is the common element? Conformity. They're trying to force you to conform. They're either trying in 1984 to get you to believe lies, to believe something that's not true, to conform to what the state wants. Or what is it? Logan's Run. They're trying to conform to the idea that everybody once you hit 30, spoiler alert, has to die. It's all about conformity. Or there was a great Twilight Zone episode. I tell you, the original, the black and white Rod Serling, that man was ahead of his time, because even though this was written in the 60s, so many of the issues he dealt with really are still salient now. We're still grappling with it because he grappled with eternal human truths. What does it mean to love? What does it mean to hate? What is the nature of prejudice? How we are often responsible for our own destruction. How do we treat each other? All of that is in there. So there was an episode where this was a society. Actually, a couple of them kind of fit into this. One of them was there was this society where they literally want everybody to look the same. Want everybody to look the same. And there was a girl there, her father, her late father, had been kind of a philosopher type. And he always taught her about expanding on her mind and being true to who she was. So she didn't want to have the surgery to conform and be like everybody else, because she wanted to be her own person. So you have to see the episode. I forget the title of it, but that was the whole idea, conformity. And then there was another episode a lot of people have probably heard of and saw, Beauty is in the Eye of the Beholder. And this, I'm going to do another spoiler here. This had a great twist because it starts out with a woman who's a patient in a hospital, and she's had like multiple plastic surgeries, we assume, to kind of get over some deformity. And the state is requiring that anyone who has any sort of physical problem, it has to be corrected because you must conform, you must fit in, must. And you never see her face because she's always covered in bandages. And you never see the faces of the other people either. It's actually brilliantly done. You don't think about it because, you just see people from the side, or like when you see the two nurses, they're just sitting there chatting. You don't really see anyone's face clearly. And you're mainly in the character of this woman. So at the end, when they unwrap her, it looks beautiful. I mean, she's gorgeous, but the doctor's like, no, it failed. It didn't work. And we're like, what? Gorgeous. And then you see the doctor's face, and he has some weird, you can't even describe it, kind of a cross between an antelope and some other creature thing, like weird nose, weird face. And then now you're seeing the faces of everybody else, and they all look like that. And from our perspective, they're ugly.
I love that. What a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look those up and put them in the show notes.
Yeah, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's a classic Twilight Zone episode, and it really speaks to the idea. Well, why do we have to conform to certain ideals? Who decided that's the ideal? If you look back on history, even in our recent past, fashion stuff has changed, man.
Oh God, yeah, just in my lifetime, we've gone from you should be super, super skinny, wear mini skirts or maxi skirts or bell-bottom pants. And now it's like you could be any size you want and wear bell-bottom pants.
Yeah.
I mean, but everything's comfortable now. You don't have to squeeze into those bell-bottom pants and wait for a day for the waist to relax so you could sit down. Yeah, and if we just look back into hoop skirts in the early 1900s and corsets and all the things that women wore, oh, please, thank you. I'm happy not to wear those.
Oh my gosh, thank God that's way before my time, because I'm telling you, literally wearing something to constrict your breathing so you could fit some sort of shape, that is sick.
Yeah, but well, we could go on a long conversation about different cultures and what they think is beautiful, but instead we'll suggest that people watch that Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah. Who are you conforming for? A creature monster? Or are you being honoring your own inner beauty?
Right on. Well, thanks for your time today, Christina. As always, it was lovely.
It was lovely too for me. Thank you.